Hi everybody, it's Chris from the Evermore podcast, Newcastle United podcast and the Evermore YouTube channel. Back with another Rumour Has It video. We're talking about players linked to the club this summer and also a little bit of an update on potentially a player that may be leaving the club this summer. So we're going to get stuck into this in a second. A little bit of housekeeping. If you haven't already, please click that like and subscribe button. We'd love you to come join the channel. We're over 1360 subscribers, I think now. We'd love to get us that 1500 if we can before the season starts, and then ideally crack that milestone at 2,000. It really helps the channel grow, helps us bring you loads more of these episodes as well. Make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss any videos that come out. Rumour Has It videos, all the live shows that we do every week as well. So let's get stuck in a couple of players then. So, we know we're looking for strikers, kind of attacking midfielders, stroke wingers. So the first player we're going to get stuck into here is, I'll just remove the logo, is this player who is Joshua Zirkzee, who currently plays for Bayern Munich. You can see that he's 21 years old, 6'3", right-footed, 16 goals in 34 appearances last season for Bayern Munich. So he knows where the onion bag is, this lad. He seems to be very much surplus to requirements at Bayern at the minute. He's training alone, I believe it is. And Bayern will be looking at a fee of 10 million quid for the lad. So that's quite a bargain, that, in terms of the the kind of fees we've been quoted for the likes of Ekitike and everything else. Bologna are also apparently interested in this player. Young Dutch international, very good player. Obviously playing for Bayern Munich as well, which is a huge club, and hitting the goals and assists as well. So he looks a tidy player. Like I say, he's quite busy. He gets on the ball, makes things happen. He can find space, play on the shoulder. He could play in a front three, he could play through the middle. The kind of right age I think we're looking for players to learn from Callum Wilson. You can see some of the key stats that Mark's bashed up there. We've updated our stats slides a little bit, as you can see there. It really helps give you an idea as to how good these players could potentially be for us. So looking at Joshua Zirkzee's key strengths, finishing and goal contributions are key strengths. Aerial duels he's not great at. You can see there he's got 0.58 goals kind of per 90 minutes, 0.32 assists. Shots, he's got 2.71 shots, 1.19 of those are on target. His goal conversions about 21.3%. You can see his dribble attempts there. His dribbles completed is about 36.4%. His possession stats, his pass completion isn't too bad as well. He's on 71%. Key passes 0.9, so he's just under one key pass a game. And you can see there the aerial duels lost. He's quite a low percentile. Mark's done a bit of a radar there alongside Callum Wilson, and you can see, he actually outscores Callum Wilson quite a lot. Does Zirkzee, in terms of obviously his goals, really, if you can see his goals are really good there up in the 16 mark. We know with Callum's just never fit for 34 games, unfortunately. If he was, I think Callum would probably be right up there with those stats, possibly better than that. But because he played such a short number of games, it really does hamper Wilson's stats when you compare him to other strikers. But there's no doubt that Wilson's going to be our main man. He's the number 9. He's the goal scorer. He leads the line. He makes the difference. And I think someone like Zirkzee would really be an understudy to him, or fill in from when he's injured or when he needs a rest. I think if we're going to get 20 plus games out of Callum Wilson next season, you need to have a decent striker to come in and do a bit of what he does. Potentially Joshua Zirkzee could be that player. I think he does look lively. He's one of these probably unlucky players, really, where they move to these huge clubs, in the shape of Bayern Munich, and it just doesn't quite work for them. They often go there. They get caught by the kind of big lights of these major European giants, and then it just doesn't seem to kind of pan out. And it happens to quite a lot of players. I mean, I even heard a rumor that Sane might be up for grabs from Bayern, which is mad when you think about it, really. So I mean, yeah, looking at this player, I think he could be really, really good for us. He had obviously the loan spell at Anderlecht is where he kind of got the kind of goal return there as well. So I think that's kind of where the lad's thrived, and he's obviously come back, and he's probably looking for more game time. He's at the right age, and I think if he moved on, potentially Newcastle United could give him that game time. So let us know what you guys think in the comments about Zirkzee, whether you think he would be a decent player to bring into the squad. I think it's the right age, and he looks like he'd only get better as well. Decent height, right-footed, give us a good balance. So yeah, this could be a really good, interesting signing if it comes off. The next player we're going to talk about is a player that we probably all know about. It's kind of, this one's a bit more of a fan-led rumor has it, I suppose, or more kind of what people really want out of a player, or a player that people would like to see us sign. I like this lad. I think, signing would be actually a really good idea. So we're going to bring him up now, and it's Chelsea's American international, Captain America as he is, which is Christian Pulisic. It's hard to remember that Pulisic is only 23 years old still, so he's quite a young age still. He's got a hell of a long way to, go in his career still. Hopefully, he has been hammered with a lot of injuries, over the last kind of couple of seasons. But you can see from the statistics there. I mean, I think this kid's a great player. I really do. I think he sometimes gets a little bit of a rough ride at Chelsea because everyone thought he was coming to replace Eden Hazard. He was never going to replace Eden Hazard for what he did for Chelsea, but he's a different type of player. You can see there from his appearances last season, 37, 21 as a sub. He got 8 goals and 5 assists. It's a good return that for a player. He's a leader, captains his country, doesn't shy away, goes looking for the ball. You can see his goals there. He's 0.43. He's in the 87th percentile. His kind of shots on target. He's in the 61 percentile. His goal shot ratio, 0.24. He's in the 96 percentile. You look at his pass completions there, 80% of his passes come off. He's in the 75 percentile. So if you look at him there in terms of his comparisons to St. Maximin, you can see it's a little bit of an even split, really. Goals obviously outweighs Maxi. I think assists, kind of Maxi's probably a little bit ahead of him or possibly parallel. Obviously the dribbles, I think Maxi's probably one of the best, if not the best in the league, to be honest with you, one of the best in Europe at that. But I think with Pulisic, the one thing that lets him down is his injury record. He does seem to get a few knocks. And I think that's kind of slowed him down a little bit over the years. So yeah, I mean, for me, I think Pulisic would be a fantastic player. And as I said, this is more fan-driven link to this player, really. I've seen loads of NUFC hashtags pulling at Pulisic and saying that they think he should be a player that we look for. And why not, to be honest with you? I mean, he's probably surplus the requirements at Chelsea. Chelsea are strengthening that squad. I'm not sure whether Thomas Tuchel trusts him or wants him in that equation. If he was to come to Newcastle, I think from a playing point of view, I think he would enhance the squad massively. I think he can play in a few different positions. He's got that creativity, he's got that spark, he can make things happen. But also from a commercial aspect as well, with being the American captain. We've already got a really decent fan base in America, but a large part of America that watch the Premier League football, they're all taken in by the big kind of 4 big 6, the Manchester United, Liverpool's, Chelsea's, City's. I think if you were to get Pulisic playing for Newcastle United, there'd be a lot of young American fans would be paying more attention to Newcastle United as well. You'd sell more shirts over there. You'd get more kind of game time in terms of television and everything else. So I think from a commercial element as well, I think signing Pulisic would be a really good idea. But for me, I think the lad's a top player. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you do think that, signing Pulisic would be a good move. And like I say, very skillful, very creative, knows where the goal is as well. A leader, the kind of player I think could fit into this squad really, really well. But we'd love to know what you guys think as well in the comments. So drop us a line. We always try to do our best to come back to you and, have a little bit of crap with you as well and see whether we agree or disagree. You can see from the heat map there with Pulisic, he is a very busy player. He can kind of pull out to the right-hand side. He can tuck inside. He can drop deep. He can switch wings. Yeah, so for me, I think this is a no-brainer. There doesn't seem to be any real concrete links from journalists at the minute in terms of a player that we are looking for. But, we signed Nick Pope out of the blue, and we signed Dan Burn out of the blue. So you never know. There might be a little bit of something in us looking at Pulisic and whether there is a chance to get him. Obviously, Callum Hudson-Odoi is another Chelsea player that's been linked to as well. That's a loan deal or a permanent deal. But Chelsea have got some good players that are probably going to get 0 game time this coming season. So I think Pulisic is definitely a viable option. So we'll watch that one and see if there's any more concrete links from the mainstream journalists, and that if there is, I'd be very excited about it. I'm sure a lot of Newcastle fans would be too. But yeah, so just finishing up the episode really then with one of our existing players that could possibly be on the way out. So we've lost Dwight Gale, as we all know. Excuse me. Just wetting my whistle there. We've lost Dwight Gale. He's gone to Stoke City. It's a great signing for Stoke. I think he'll get goals at that level. He's proven that level. When we were in the Championship, he was unplayable, really. He was a kind of 1 and 2 striker, in all fairness. Just an absolute goal machine. When he went to West Brom on, loan, he was there again. He was fantastic. That never kind of came off. Come back to the club, crazily got offered a new deal, don't know why. And now he's back in the Championship. So yeah, I would back Dwight Gale to get loads of goals in the Championship next season. But, he's gone. That's one of the old kind of die-hard Championship squad players that we had. Another one is Matt Ritchie. Now, Matt Ritchie's a great guy to have in the team, ultra professional, mad as a box of frogs as well, a wonderful shithouse. but his legs have gone. He started out on the left-hand side, great player, created goals, scored goals, was a leader. Then he ended up dropping into left wing back under Rafa, did a brilliant job. Then the legs started to go. He was starting to get tortured by wingers. And then I think, when we signed Jamal Lewis, we thought he was going to be the man to take that mantle. He struggled. Ritchie got back in, and then obviously, his lack of pace and his kind of age maybe catching up on him as well. Signing Matty Targett, we're not looking back from that. Matty Targett's the starting left back. So the stories are that Eddie Howe might be resigned to losing Matt Ritchie. So this is what Eddie Howe's had to say about Matt, obviously, who's a player that he knows, from way back in his Bournemouth days. So he said, my intention is to try and keep him, but it's well documented that Matty has been away from his family for a long period of time. He loves playing for Newcastle and he's very passionate about the club, but I think it's unclear what direction we'll take. Now, Matty Ritchie has been linked to, Matt Ritchie's too many Matties at the club. Matt Ritchie has been linked to go back to Bournemouth for many, many years now. It was even that joke, wasn't it, when he had a meal with Andy Carroll, Wilson and Fraser, I think it was, wasn't it, when he said Ritchie to Bournemouth will bring Bournemouth to Ritchie. But so I think there is a pull to go back there. Obviously, spent time at Portsmouth as well and Bournemouth, so he's very much at home, down in that kind of South Coast area. So this wouldn't surprise me at all if he did go back to Bournemouth and, kind of had a stint there as well. Obviously they've been promoted back to the Premier League. So, he's, he could have another run at the Premier League, under Scotty Parker and just see whether, that's something that he can maybe keep Bournemouth in the Premier League, with his new kind of club. And we wish him well if he moved on. He's been a fantastic servant. He's been great for the club. He's lost his magic hat to Bruno, but he takes it in good banter and good jest. So, yeah, I think this is a good sign. It's a sad sign in a way because you're losing players that mean something to you, that do have a nostalgic feel for you because they were there when the club was at its lowest ebb to help get you back up. And they were also here while it transitioned from Ashley's Newcastle to the current Newcastle under the PIF and Amanda Staveley. So I think it's sad to see them go, but I think it's inevitable. I think a lot of these players probably should have been moved on years ago. So I think if we were to move Matt Ritchie on and sign a better player, whether it be Jack Harrison, Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, something like that, that's an improvement on Matt Ritchie. And, we wish him well, wherever he ends up, whether it be Bournemouth or somewhere else. But we'll watch that one with great interest. Cause I think whatever's going to happen with Ritchie will probably happen soon. And I think when bodies are coming in, bodies will go out. Like we say, we lost Gale already. There's talk about potentially Matty Longstaff and Elliot Anderson going out on loan at the Championship, depending on how the squad is looking moving into the last kind of few weeks. We've still got 5 or 6 weeks left of the transfer window, so there's still time, to get players in and move players out. But yeah, we'll be watching the Matt Ritchie one with close interest. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below about everything that we've said in this episode. We'd love to hear from you. And as I mentioned at the start, if you haven't already, please click that like and subscribe button. Try and help us get up to that 1,500 mark. We'd love you for that. It really helps the channel grow, helps us bring loads more content for you as well. We'll be back with another Rumour Has It video soon enough. And Mark and I will hopefully be back Monday night for another What's Going On. And then we'll have a little look towards the Benfica game on Tuesday and just have a little chat about what's happening with the club. But until then, it's Chris signing off. Let's keep supporting the team of Core United. We'll catch you later. Cheers.